Hi, welcome back to Educate Academy, brought to you by the Kentucky Academy of Technology Education. Today we're going to look at sharing files and folders in Google Drive. All right, so you're looking at my Google Drive, and you can see on some of these folders a little kind of a head in some of the folders. That means that these folders are shared. If I come down to my files, when I'm in the list view, I can see if a file is shared because it has the two little people next to the name of the file. In the grid view, I can also see in the file folder whether a folder is shared, but I can't see on a file if that file is shared. Another reason maybe to use the list view if that's something that you're interested in knowing. So how do I go about sharing a file? Well, let's say that I want to share this apps and extension Google Doc. There's a couple ways to do it. I can right click on it and I can go to share. And when I get here, I can put in the email address of the person I want to share it with. So let's say I want to share this with Jenny. I can start typing her email address and I can go ahead and it's going to pop it in. It's going to pull from your contacts list. And if that person's not in your contacts list, then you're going to have to actually type in their entire email address. I can also add more people, and so I can share it with a number of people. I don't think there's a limit, and so I can keep adding email addresses. But once I add them all, I can come over here to the right and I can give them rights to this file. It defaults to allowing them to edit this file. If I don't want them to edit it, for example, if I'm going to a training session and I'm sharing out a file with teachers, then I probably am going to give them only viewing rights. So I would come here and I would come down to view, and it would change the rights to that file for those email addresses. I can then share it with other people and give them editing rights. That's fine. It all depends on whose email address is there for whichever rights I've given, okay? Once I've done this, it's going to send an email because it defaults to notify people. It emails them telling them they have rights to this file. And I can come down here and maybe send an explanation. If we've talked about it, I normally don't fill this out, but if it's something that I'm sending to somebody somewhere else, then I would probably add a note to that, and then I would come down here and click on send. And so that's sharing a file via email, okay? And that's also giving them the rights depending on whether it's viewing, editing, or commenting. And so I can also give commenting rights. Let's say you're writing a paper for publication and you want somebody to comment and make suggestions on it, then they can get commenting rights where they can't make changes to your document, but they can highlight in your document and comment on something and may give you a better way to word that or a suggestion about what you're saying. So those three different rights can be assessed to a file. Now I can also get a shareable link. So I would come up here and I would click. And when I get a shareable link, that means when I give the link to somebody, they also have certain rights. It defaults when I give a link out, and it gives me the link here, to our domain, which is Murray State, and it defaults to giving viewing rights. But when I click on this little down triangle, I can not only give them viewing, editing, and commenting rights, but I can go to more. And I often share out a link that says anyone with the link. That means I can give it to any teacher or any person anywhere. I change it here, and then I come down to the access rights. And this gives it to anyone and doesn't mean they have to sign in, and then they can either view it, edit, or comment. So once I've done that, I can click save, and then it changes my rights here, and I can copy this link. Notice down here tucked in the corner is this little advanced. So I'm going to come down here, and so it's going to tell me my link. It's going to tell me who has access right now, tells me who is the owner of this file. It allows me to invite people since I didn't send that out earlier. Notice I can also send a copy to myself of this, or I can paste the item itself into the email. But these are the rights that I wanted to also point out. As a person sharing with other teachers, I might not want my teachers to change the access. I might not want them to share it with other people. I might also not want them to be able to download it, print it, or copy it. if they have only commenting and viewing rights. And so it gives you more control. So that's your sharing settings. And I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to say done. When you're in an actual document, for example, if I open this exact same document, and so I'm in Google Docs, and once it loads, I have a share button over here. When I click this share button, you'll notice it looks exactly the same as when I was in Google Drive. Okay, so I can share also within all of the Google apps and give those same rights. Now notice I had already set this link up, so it remembers that. If I want to edit that, I just click on the triangle and go back and change those editing or sharing rights. That's sharing in a nutshell. It really is pretty easy. Just remember that you need to share and change the rights that they have to that document. If you only want them to view it, you can give them viewing rights. Now, what I always tell teachers is if I give you viewing rights and I create my stuff to share with teachers, it's part of my job. If I don't give them editing rights, it's because I don't want them to edit mine, okay? But they can usually go to File, make a copy. It's the same as basically Save As in a lot of other applications, and they can make it theirs. Once they make a copy of it, it breaks that ownership, and then it becomes their document, and they can use it and do with it as they wish. That's sharing in Google. All right, there will be an assignment in Google Classroom that will count for weeks 1 and 2. So make sure you go to Google Classroom, open the assignment, and see what it is that you have to do. Thanks for watching. Feel free to contact me via email, call me on the phone. I'm here to help you out. All right, thank you, and have a great day.